48 hours in Singapore is not enough to say that I know Singapore, but I can say that within my first 48 hours, it gave me a lot of food for thought, and I feel like I learned a lot from Singapore. So this video, I've given it some time to digest. I'm actually filming this on our last night, and I will probably fill in some gaps as we go, but I wanted to share a little bit of my experience with a little bit more time in between. So cheers to Singapore. Finally found Tiger beer on my last night.
Damn.
Come on, Singapore, you can do better, I can tell you that much.
What's up, man? Where is the Tiger beer?
Where is the Tiger beer? I've never been to Singapore before. I've actually opted to stay as ignorant as humanly possible.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye. Thank you. Even though I've known him, well, we've been talking about this trip for like a year and a half, and even though I've had food through the hood in Paris and I know Singaporeans, I don't really know a whole lot about the city beyond the things that I think that kind of everyone knows and is repeated to me when they found out that I'm going, that it is safe, clean, filled to the brim with Australians just passing through one way or the other, and of course, the food. Man, I wish I had these.
Bye, so thank you so
Bye,
much.
thank you very much. But I've intentionally remained ignorant because I just want to experience it myself. Nice to meet you. Here I come. Ooh. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm so ready for this. Can I get you ladies something to drink?
Hey, ça va?
Yeah.
Where were you?
One of the things that I had to clarify for my family, so maybe I should just clarify in general, in case you're curious, is that Singapore is a city-state and is also an island state, which makes it very small, and yet it feels pretty large, to be honest. Everybody that I've met here so far talks about how small Singapore really is. You can drive across it in less than an hour, depending on which way you're going. It's wider than it is tall. But it was pretty crazy. We went to this private club on top of one of the tallest buildings in the city. You can actually see it from here. It is one of the 3 tallest buildings, as I understand. We have our, you just put them on over your shorts. That's a little small. Oh yeah, they're like stretchy pants. Yeah. Should I take off my shoes? I think we look good. Can't like, yeah, can you get... Perfect. And they have the top 3 floors. And if you look out one direction, you can see Malaysia. And if you look out another direction, you can see Indonesia. And it does kind of capture just how small this place really is in the grand scheme of things. But it doesn't feel that small to me. I don't know, maybe after we spend a little more time here, it will. But because it's so small, obviously real estate is limited. So they have to fight to protect the green spaces they have, and they build up. There are a lot of skyscrapers around, which makes for some really interesting juxtapositions because they also have these beautiful old buildings that they refer to as like the Chinese clan buildings. Clan meaning association, way cooler word than saying like an association. They're beautiful, very colorful, and they make for these amazing photos where you have these old small buildings sitting right in front of massive skyscrapers. And of course I really love all of the air conditioning units everywhere.
How are you feeling in the heat?
Like really warm. Like a lot warm.
Something that really stands out to me about being in Singapore, and maybe it's because I've lived in France for too long, but it's the walls of the air conditioning units. Like their entire alleys filled with just air conditioning units, to the point that it almost feels like street art.
But I think it makes for a very, very unique feel in a number of different ways. It's only the second city-state I've ever been to. I've been to the Vatican before, but it is definitely the smallest, most surrounded feeling of any country that I've ever been in. Hi. Yeah, everything's great. Did you just come to check and see if I made it? That's very nice, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm not in my own hotel. The hotel we're in is actually next door to this one, but they have a key so we can come check it out. And the woman just came to double check and make sure I found my way up here. People are very nice around here. It feels different. Definitely a different friendliness vibe than service in Paris.
Pearl, is this our first hawker?
It is when Macron came with our Prime Minister 6 months ago.
Oh wow.
One of the oldest hawker centers. They used to call it the old market. It's
Got
called
it.
Lao Pat San.
Yeah.
Which in Chinese, it's like old market literally. So
And
everything you ever
is-
want to eat in Singapore.
Is there a particular stand that we're going to right now, or are we just trying whatever we want?
try whatever you want.
Okay.
But I wouldn't stop here. It's really just for you to have a look.
Oh no!
The best hawker food is not in this.
Okay. Shade has been thrown, but this is cool. This is very like.
Right? Yeah, we'll take you to the more legit ones.
All right.
This is for you guys. This is like a tourist spot.
Okay, fair enough.
So the whole idea of a hawker center is they took all the street hawkers off the streets and housed it under one roof.
So
for hygiene reasons.
Fair enough.
But it became, obviously like everyone dines here after work and lunch. It's daily.
And do they go all night?
All night, yeah. I mean, there are some spots that are 24/7.
That's awesome. It's hawker center.
Yeah, hawker center.
All of them are hawker centers.
It's inscribed in the UNESCO heritage. What we do at the hood is just scratching the surface.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. All right, quit torturing me. Let's go to dinner.
Oh, you gotta try the sugarcane juice. You can't get sugarcane juice in Paris.
I haven't had sugarcane juice in a long time.
Yeah, I love sugarcane. Cheers!
Cheers.
Last year, I think they did a whole.
I think one of the things that I love most about traveling to new places, especially cultures I've never set foot in before, and this is, I feel like, a very unique culture for a lot of different reasons.
So this is my first experience with choke. It's when you claim a seat with like a packet of tissues. I left my sunglasses behind. Literally just left my sunglasses to claim my seat. Will they be there when we go back? Will the seats be there when we go back? Yeah, I claimed 4 seats, hopefully. We'll see how it goes. Oh yes, this is gonna be Lindsay's first sugarcane experience. She hasn't had this yet.
Wow.
Yeah! I love sugarcane. When I lived in South Africa, we had a whole bunch of this on hand, and we would chew it. It's really nice to chew, but you'll ruin your teeth.
Here?
Still here. Whoa. My sunglasses are still here. Look at that.
But it's because there's like this gaping hole in your knowledge that you can only fill with your imagination, which often is like other sources of experience. Whether for me that's like West Africa, India, Thailand, Taiwan. Trying to imagine what Singapore is going to be like going in, it just ultimately feels like this big blank space. And I really love that feeling because it does seem increasingly rare. Like, where am I going to go in Europe to get that now kind of a thing? And I'm sure there are plenty more of those experiences around the world, but it's a really nice and satisfying feeling to be here and getting to fill in a gap in my mind, which was Singapore. Like, what is Singapore? And I don't know that I could answer that. I don't think I could ever answer that. Certainly not succinctly, and definitely not after only being here for 2 days. But at least it won't be a blank slate in my mind. There'll be a lot of good experiences that fill me in from here.
There are a lot of
So you're doing a little bit of...
the whiskey.
Do they have a napkin?
Wow, holy cow. You're not kidding. That's insane. All of these like outdoor walkways that are covered and the differences in styles, A, very cool. B, make me want to come during monsoon season just to see what it's like to hang out outside while it's raging in the skies. This is so cool. I've been saying I want to spend more time in Asia. I'm so grateful to be here for this. Like, it's only making me want to spend more time. What?
Maybe we'll get the hot chicken. Anything that you like. Otherwise, you get the.
That Dua Lipa might be onto something there. That was delicious. So we're in the presidential suite of the Raffles Hotel right now. A sentence that I never thought I would utter before because I didn't know the Raffles Hotel existed. This is Lindsay's domain on the hotel side. I'm learning as I go. May I continue to...
Yes, of course. So where you are going into is actually the guest bedroom.
This is the guest bedroom.
The master bedroom.
Oh, the master bedroom was over there.
Yes.
Oh, that's the one that's in the sneak. Oh, that's where I was sneaking. This is the guest bedroom? So, wow, holy cow. Whoa, look at this bathtub. Oh my goodness.
All the suites actually have this freestanding marble.
That's beautiful. Click, clack. Click, clack. I think what makes Singapore in particular interesting in my experience is the English element of it, because it still feels like a new world. It still feels like I'm getting to explore something completely new. And yet, the barrier to entry is so low by comparison, right? Because everybody speaks English. The Singaporean government teaches everyone English as their first language, even though we've heard different accounts as to whether that's the only official language or if there are 4 official languages. I'm sure I will hear in the comments below. But there's a wide variety of different languages and slang and so much going on that it feels different. It feels fresh. It feels like everyone has a different accent. Everyone speaks a different language. And yet, it's all so wildly accessible. I noticed Old Monk at the bar we went to yesterday. It's a rum that's made in India, and we cannot get it in France. And it's one of those moments that made me realize how big the world still really is. Even if Singapore is small, and maybe part of the reason I feel like the world is so big right now, because Singapore is so small and I can actually see other countries from the top of the tall buildings. There's just certain things you can't get unless you come to other parts of the world. So Old Monk was the thing that sparked that. But then we met these distillers last night at this restaurant, and they were sharing a new liquor with us, a pandan liquor that they...
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Pandan is becoming like the theme of Singapore for me. I really love pandan.
It's so good.
Oh, she's not lying. Wow. Birthday me, please.
So you find this like life-changing liquor and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to have more of this in my life. It's not available in France. You can't get it. The only way we're gonna be able to get it in France is if Pearl like imports it in and sells it at the hood. But I'm not taking risks on that, her stock even lasting very long. So I bought a couple of bottles to bring back with me. And there's something really magical about that to me.
I had to get 2 bottles to bring home. I had to. They're so good.
And you won't regret it.
I will not regret it.
That traveling to a place like this means that you can find things and bring them back with you that you can't simply go on Amazon and buy. And pandan, oh man. I wish I could bring some pandan plants back myself. I wonder if I can find them in France. So this is an actual opium bed from China. I don't know if I'm allowed to put that in the video or get demonetized. One of the other things that's really stood out to me about our time in Singapore is how everyone's, like, it's a project in getting people to live together. It's incredibly racially diverse, religiously diverse. Like 80% of people live in public housing. It's not the same as like public housing where we come from. People actually own their apartments, but they require people to live amongst other religions, other races, and as a result, you end up in like Chinatown, but there's a Hindu temple, and across from the Buddhist temple. Not only is everyone able to live together, but it feels like it highlights the artificiality of racism, of xenophobia, how these things are imposed upon us, where if we just live together from the start, they never end up entering into your mind in the first place. I do realize I'm saying this from like a colonial artifact. On the colonial artifact side of things, because this is definitely a pinnacle of that, Lindsay actually asked Hassan, who's holding the camera right now, if there was resentment, like if there was a sense of resentment here, like we have in France for colonialism, like we have in so many parts of the world. And he said not necessarily that there's a resentment for it here, that they've kind of gotten over that. Might be a little bit tired of the British, but there's so many different layers to it, so many different potential conflicts, potential controversies, like the fact that 30% of the land thereabouts might be reclaimed, but a large portion of it was exhumed. So they built over old cemeteries. That the kinds of things that would make people in Europe literally roll in their graves, I guess. And at the end of the day, myriad stories that could be told in this place. Everybody that we talk to has a different story, has a different perspective. And I feel like Singapore is just like littered with interesting elements, stories, cross-cultural moments. It's something that's very unique, and there's a lot here that I personally, I feel like there's a lot more to uncover. So, Hosen, in this that used to be ocean.
Yes, so yeah.
The beach was there.
This beach road, so after that it was all the sea.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's just down the road there. It's ouch. Thanks.
Watch out.
Oh, injured. Yeah. So this is basically so much of history. So and from here onwards, it's called the Golden Mile, all the way down to the Kallang River.
No, it's in like I can reach for you.
Hey, Lindsay, watch. Oh, cool. Because Singapore is infamously a place where you're not allowed to litter, to the point that friends that don't even live here are worried about it when they're in town. Raffles Bar has a tradition that they explained to us where you come, you have peanuts, making this the one place in Singapore where not only is it permissible to litter, but I guess it's tradition.
We call them snacks or desserts.
Yeah.
We have a word in Singapore, we call them kueh. Kueh is like kind of a chewy, like a dessert. And it is amazing because she's really keeping a very rare tradition alive. I know of less than a handful of places that still sell this snack.
Oh yeah. The filling is amazing.
Gives it a citrusy punch.
And it's getting gooier.
Yeah. Subsidized housing. So you purchase a flat here for 99 years. Right. So I'm just going to show you how public housing is quite different from what you think of when you think of public housing in other countries. Right. It's all quite well planned. Everything is thought of for the resident of mine.
I'm following.
Yeah.
I'm like your best tour follower.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think of public housing, do you think of an apartment that looks like this?
Because I certainly don't. At the end of that second night, we went to a house party at Yong's place. He organized a really wonderful group of creatives for us to meet and mingle, and then we got to go see not only his apartment, but one of his neighbors' apartments, so we got an insight into what it's like to live in one of the blocks in Singapore.
I was just switching on the AC, so because it's really warm.
I mean, it is warm. Look at this place. This is great. I love your nuns smoking.
Oh yes,
That's-
I love them too.
Whoa.
Bomb shelter?
Yes.
We have a bomb shelter in every home.
What?
Are you
Whoa.
Which we use as storage. But it is a solid door.
But then
Solid metal.
you're on the 10th floor. If there are bombs,
Bomb shelters.
Bomb shelter.
Everyone uses it for storage.
Wow. I have not been in a bomb shelter in a modern building before. Now I can say that I have.
Where is Bula?
Where is Bula?
Yeah, right? They can have a party on the...
And from there we went to a gathering of the Sing Song Social Club, which puts together basically an adult choir for anybody, no matter how experienced you are, to walk you through singing together as a group. Lindsay broke out some rap, which was pretty impressive. And it was just a really wonderful time, and ended the night in a delicious bar just around the corner with some really good food. It was phenomenal. The thing is that everybody told me that 48 hours in Singapore was more than enough. So many people treat it as a stopover on their way to somewhere else. Maybe they only spend a few days there at most, if they even leave the airport. And I think that's a travesty, because we spent 8 nights there. We were there for a long time by most people's accounting, and we did not see nearly everything. Every day was so packed. Part of this is just because Pearl is probably the single best connected person I've ever met. She knows everyone in Singapore. And if you've seen my other vlogs from when we were there, and I was daily vlogging in June, you know that we met a whole bunch of different artisans and filmmakers, craftspeople and locals of all kinds. That just inspired me so much. We had so much in common, and I would really recommend that you go watch those videos, but I left with this sense that I had barely scratched the surface of everything that I could see and do in Singapore. I really look forward to going back someday in the future, to meeting more interesting people, to seeing the people that I got to meet last time. Honestly, it left me with a lot to think about when it comes to everything from how we organize ourselves as a society to how we tackle things like systemic racism and other issues that are at the root of so much of the problems that we see in the world. And again, I just met so many wonderful people, got to see so many cool things, and was left with so many great memories. I am just grateful for the opportunity to go in the first place. So thank you to Block 65 for taking us, to Yo's.
Yeah, that's new. Oh, I like that.
To the Singapore Tourism Board, to everybody that welcomed us, that opened their homes, that showed us their businesses, that took so much of their own time to make our time so special. All the great meals, all the random run-ins, all the just interesting moments and conversations. Singapore, it was really great. If you're thinking about going, highly recommend you check out everything that we did in those videos. If you want a concise list, I put all the places that we went and loved on my Mapster, which is available to my patrons from the Wanderer level and above. If you want to go over to Patreon, obviously it supports my channel, and then you can have my cheat sheet to do in Singapore. Yeah, I mean, if you're ever in Paris, drop in on the hood and just ask Pearl and whatever random Singaporeans happen to be there, because I'm sure they're very well connected to the city, where they would go when they're hanging out in Singapore, and you will have a really good time. Thanks again. Thanks for watching. See you in Singapore again someday soon, I hope.
Yeah, this guy needs to see you. Ali, let's go!